In the aftermath of the terrible terrorist attack in Jammu, questions have been raised about whether a series of lapses by the security forces contributed to what happened. A high-level meeting of top security officials here in Jammu discussed that to some extent, and I'm joined by Chief Minister Omar Abdullah, who actually chaired the meeting of the Unified Command, as it's known. Thanks very much indeed, Omar, for joining us. Now, let me actually take you through some of those gaps. Now, one of them, of course, is the fact that there's a suspicion that they came across the border. Now, this is an international border which is heavily fenced, heavily protected. Isn't that baffling as to how that could have happened?
Well, first, I think it's important to understand that traditionally attacks that have taken place in Jammu, in the plains of Jammu, have largely been by this route. People have been infiltrated in with a particular sort of attack in mind. And this is...
so it's not that they've already been here and they have some kind of local support or any of that?
There is no evidence to suggest that they had any local support whatsoever. In fact, conversations with the auto driver, the truck driver, etc., would lend us to believe
that they had just come across only for this
really
attack.
Just arrived. They had some sprinkling of knowledge about the local conditions.
How did they get across the border?
They walked across.
Quite
simply, they walked across. I think it's important again to understand that not the entire border is fenced, because you have a lot of gullies and nalas where fencing is not possible. And particularly immediately after the monsoons, there are areas where the fencing has been damaged. Areas where anyway we don't put fence, as I said, in these gullies and nalas, there is concertina wire, there are other sort of measures.
So these are the gaps.
There are gaps that are available.
But this is worrying then.
It is worrying. It is worrying, and it's something that we did discuss in a fair amount of detail today. That these nalas need to be plugged. If we can't do it through physical barriers, we need to make technological barriers
to do so
available to do so.
Now, the next lapse in some ways is the fact that they went to this police station. We also went there ourselves today. They could attack this station. Now, there was a strength there of at least 20-25 men when it happened. They were armed with AK-47s, INSAS rifles, and yet these terrorists could shoot and kill at will and get away without being challenged at all.
Yeah.
That, again, a big worry.
In fact, I'm more concerned about what happened in the police station than the border, because I know there are gaps in the border. And I know, in spite of our best efforts, they will continue to try and exploit these chinks when the fence gets damaged and when this elephant grass is at the height that it's at right now. But what I find difficult to fathom is how a fairly well fortified police station could be overrun the way this was done. I mean, this is something
what does that say? I mean, you are Chief Minister, so you can't entirely wash your hands off responsibility.
I don't want to get into the details. Obviously, we will have to inquire into the exact circumstances of what happened. I think
it's a colossal failure.
What in part has contributed to this is the fact that Jammu hasn't seen a major militant attack in almost a decade now.
Right.
I think at certain levels we had in the police establishment and in other areas started to tell ourselves that militancy was a thing of the past.
There was a certain degree of complacency, you feel?
I think we had lowered our guard. It's not as if SOPs were not in place to deal with situations like this.
Okay,
I think we just sort of forgotten that this situation could arise.
But what about the fact, Omar, that when they reached Samba and they reached the headquarters of the 16th Cavalry, there clearly didn't seem to be that kind of fortification which had already come into place, knowing that a group of terrorists are on the move, which is why they could shoot and enter quite easily.
I think the fact that they got locked down into the first building they entered is indicative of the fact that the QRTs, the quick response teams of the army, had already been mobilized because of what had happened in Hiranagar.